Hello and welcome to the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Carl Sr. And this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you. And of course, I have here with me on today my hostess with the mostest. Both of them are just amazing individuals. We have Miss Candi T and Femi Osinowo. What's up?
What it be like, everybody?
What it is.
No, that's right.
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Hey, watch out there now. Watch out there now. Give it to us, baby.
Hola, amigo. Hola.
I love it.
¿Cómo te llamo?
Yes, sir. Me llamo Christopher. ¿Y tú?
Yeah, Femi Osinowo.
Hey. I love it. I love it. What's up, everybody out there that's listening all over the world? Listen, Brussels, Belgium, you know how I feel about you. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. Thank you to my Indian community out there that's checking us out. And, of course, right here in our own backyard in North Carolina, stand up in Africa. Thank you, guys. All over. I don't have time to name all those names. You guys are really just absolutely amazing. And thank you again from the Ross Cloud Podcast, from all of us. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Listen, but before I do, Brittany Griner, let's just remember her, all right? Let's keep her in your prayers. Let's pray for her family and the strength of their family so they'll be all right until she comes home. So our topic for today is competing with yourself. Being in competition with yourself and not really paying too much attention to what everybody else is doing and be focused on what it is that you're doing so that you can become great at whatever it is that you so desire to do. So we're going to attempt to talk about this again. You know, this is from our perspective. We like to have topics that we talk about, whether it's a general consensus with the whole group or not. We still try to do our best to navigate through these different topics that we come up with. And competition with yourself is one that we came up in us talking about it. And we're going to get right into it. Competing with yourself. In competition with yourself. In competition with yourself.
Can I ask you a question right quick?
Sure. Come on.
How often do you change the water in your plants?
Looking
at them.
As they drink, just depending on how low, as they get low, and I can see, you know, as the plants are growing, as this right here begins to get lower and lower, then I come back in and refill it.
Okay. Because I'm looking at it every time I come in here. It's like it's growing.
Yeah, it's growing. And this one right here has new leaves, as you can see, budding and that there too.
And the roots look really good.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the same with this one here. If you can see those leaves right there, they're starting to do this. As you see, they're getting wider and broader.
I just sat there the other day and was just...
just actually staring at it, right?
Staring at it and just like...
That's what I'm doing now. I'm
wow, you just touch them.
Okay.
Just touch them a little bit. As you can see, it's some roots coming right here on this individual leaf. And that's just a leaf. So it'll continue to grow. And then I'll take it out and put it in dirt. And then it'll flourish.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
That's our plant moment, y'all.
Yeah. We had a plant moment, y'all.
Yeah, Chris has a green thumb, and I'm working on mine.
I love it.
Yeah, my wife, she
that's
does.
family. Yeah.
They're family. They big on plants.
Yeah, we really are. We really are. Sister Tanya.
Right.
Alfred, too. Alfred grows some vegetables, too. Yeah. Okay. Every now and again, I think he grows out in his backyard. I think he's attempted to grow some fruits and vegetables. I think he actually achieved it. Yeah. Y'all, when you get done, if you get a chance, feel these leaves right here. They're cold to the touch. You feel how cool that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Oh, they're being nourished by the water. The water is nourishing them. So they automatically stay cool. And
so they basically reflect the temperature of the water.
there you go.
Okay.
Yeah. And they keep the air clean.
Yeah.
Keeps the toxins out of the air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what's
Beautiful.
up.
Yeah. Plants. I love them. So competition with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to read this right quick. The most important part of competing against yourself is the ability to set your own values and metrics. You choose the goals that fit you best and what you really want to compete on and what you don't. And yeah, sometimes you lose. You might do worse than you did before.
Mm-hmm.
So competing with yourself. Competing with yourself has its advantages. You know, I think that it does. I think if you can weather the storms, if you can weather going through probably the overthinking that probably can have, second guessing yourself when you've made a decision about something that could propel you to the next thing in your life.
Right.
If you're dragging your feet and maybe, you know, but the good thing about that is you have, when you're competing with yourself and not on somebody else's wavelength or time frame, then like it said, you have the ability to kind of take your time and really nurture what it is that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, try to stay away from focusing on what other folks are doing. It's okay to, this is what I've always said, it's okay to learn from others.
Right.
But be authentic in what it is that you're doing.
Exactly.
It's okay to learn from a blueprint.
Yeah.
It really is. It's okay to learn from a blueprint. But you can take bits and pieces from that blueprint and apply it to yours.
Mm-hmm.
And then be creative. And you can be your own architect on how you want it to run and how you want it to be.
Right.
Because when you're competing with you, there is no competition.
Right.
It's just you.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you're trying to push to get to the next level. Mm-hmm. You're trying to better yourself, whatever it is, educating yourself, whatever you need to do. Get around people who are doing the same thing that you're doing. But when you compete against you, there is no competition. Mm-hmm. You're your only competition.
Right.
Because you're authentic. You're you. They only made one of you. Mm-hmm. There's only one Candi T. There's only one Femi Osinowo. There's only one Chris Ross.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's only one of us.
Yeah, like a fingerprint.
Right, like a fingerprint. Mm-hmm. You have your own identity. The thing is, a lot of people don't have their own identity, so they begin to compete with other people. What's that saying? Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Yeah. Hell, I don't know what the Joneses went through to get to where they are. You know, it's a figure of speech that we use, but it's true. Why am I trying to look at the Joneses? The Joneses might have been together 100 years.
Right.
Opened up 10 businesses within 100 years and got a financial portfolio that's out of this world. Mm-hmm. You know, I may not even be near that. Right. You see what I'm saying? So why look at them and try to keep up with them? For what? Right. I ain't finna go broke keeping up with them.
Right.
But you find a lot of people doing that.
Right.
So just compete with you. Stay in your lane. That's like a big thing.
Yes, sir.
Run your own race.
Right.
Stay in your own lane. Mm-hmm. Don't try to get outside of that lane.
Yeah.
You know, even if people have suggestions, it's okay to hear suggestions, but you know what you want to do. Mm-hmm. You know where you want to go. And then work on that, you know. That's my little 2 cents right there. Mm-hmm. Competing with yourself. What's your thoughts on that, baby? Mm-hmm. Competing with yourself. How you feel about that whole statement, actually?
I mean, like you said, running your own race. Mm-hmm. You know, staying in your own lane.
Right.
You're running your own race, you know. And that way, you're not jealous of nobody. Nobody's jealous.
I like that.
So if you're jealous of yourself.
I like that.
Yeah.
Why in the hell would you be that way, right?
Exactly.
Why?
So if you're staying in your own lane and, also desires is you're trying to be better than what you was today or yesterday.
Thank you. And that's all you got to worry about.
That's it. It makes your job so much easier.
Doesn't it, though?
Right.
When there's nobody to compete with. It's just you.
It's just me.
Okay, so yesterday I didn't do this. So today I'm going to make sure that I do this today.
Right.
That's not competing with anybody but you.
Right.
That's it.
Man, I got to get up, man. I procrastinated today.
Right, exactly.
Man, I can't do that no more because I was not productive today.
Yesterday, I got up at 9 o'clock. So I need to be better. I need to get up at 7.
Correct.
So tomorrow I'll be up at 7.
Right, Femi.
And then the next day I'm at 6.
Yeah.
And from then on forth, I'll keep the same energy,
right,
the same attitude.
One day you beat me here.
Right.
I can't do that no more. Mm-hmm. We laughed about it. People like, man, I beat you here. What's going on?
Right. That was That was me. Some would say, competing with, but I wasn't really competing. I was just being productive and being here on time.
Exactly.
So,
and guess what it made me do? Dang.
Step it up,
man. Your name Ross. Get your ass in here on time. It's Ross Cloud. Why he beat you here?
Right.
Yeah.
It's just when you think about it,
right,
from that perspective,
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I should have been here, ready to go. Right.
So
go ahead.
To me, it's just if you competing with yourself is just to better yourself.
That's right,
and just to kind of remind yourself that today's production has been today's production. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow will be better. Yeah.
I agree with that. Like I had in my mind one thing that I was going to do today, but then I got a phone call to make three sweatshirts, which gave me finances right then and there.
Right.
Not that I needed it, but it just, you kind of see what I'm saying?
Right,
exactly.
right.
So even though even though it took me out of what I was doing, I was a benefactor of making my time available to make those shirts.
And you were not competing with them.
And I wasn't competing with anybody.
Up in your game.
Right.
There it is. I'm upping my game.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And those shirts will be worn for others to see.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that's a chain reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's taking full advantage of an opportunity that you have to say, hey, Pam, this may get me in a space where I need to be.
Right.
Where I can continue doing exactly what I want to do. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I love what you said. You're competing against yourself. And if you're going to be jealous of yourself, what the hell? That ain't going to go right, is it? Hell no, it's not.
Like, man,
suck.
I've actually done it.
You know what? We probably have been hard on ourselves. Candy, if we all are being truthful, we all have probably said that and say,
I'll be like, what in the hell are you doing?
Yes. I can remember back in the day, speaking of that, back in the day when I was out there in them streets, and I would come home and look in the mirror and say, you dirty dog, you. We all have had those moments where, man, good. Boy, you wrong as hell for that. See, competing with yourself.
Right.
You ain't got to worry about nobody else. You competing against you. Right.
And then,
but anyway.
And then it's crazy. Like, even though you competing with yourself, sometimes you might be competing with somebody else, but they don't know it.
They don't even know it.
They don't even know it.
Because they running their race.
Right. They just doing their own thing.
They just doing their own thing.
And you see him like, damn,
he ain't about that life. He ain't getting it like that. Yeah.
You know what? I need to go ahead and do something he ain't doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then,
right, man. And it might not even work for you.
they be like, oh, dummy.
I know, right? It's so true. It's so true.
Right.
So competing with yourself can be a beautiful experience if you allow it to be.
Right.
If you allow it to be. What's your thoughts, Ken?
I don't know. I keep thinking about the gym. Like when I go work out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great analogy.
I've been working all week, and then I go to the gym, and I'm like, dang, I got a long way to go. Like, I'm looking at everybody else, and they look like they're making progress, and I'm like, dang. Yeah. But if I think about it, I hadn't really been doing what I was supposed to, because when I was doing what I was supposed to, I was making progress.
I got you.
Right. Okay.
So it can be a thin line between inspiration and competition. So when I'm actually in there and I see other people doing what they're supposed to do, and I see their results, I'm like, you know damn well you can do better than this, you know?
Right.
So then I take that as an igniter and I turn it on to myself.
Absolutely. Okay.
I don't stay stuck
in
trying to be them.
Yes.
Because we still all have different body compositions, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
No matter how much weight I lose, I always have big legs and big thighs and wide hips. Right? So I'm trying to get all of that off, and it ain't going nowhere.
Well, certain things, you know, is beautiful for the black woman to have. Okay, all right, now we go. But it's okay if you don't have that. But some of our sisters are naturally gifted in that area with hips and thighs and legs. You know, so
the thing is
you can tone it up.
The low belly, low when you have hips and thighs. And everything starts below the navel. Yeah, you got to make sure you get that flat. Right?
I got you. Yeah.
Now my son says, well, you know, Mom, men don't really care about flat bellies. We don't. We might want 6-packs, but we don't want y'all to have 6-packs. And I'm thinking, well, I want a 6-pack before I get up out of here.
Guess what?
You know,
that's something that you desire.
That's something that I desire.
So you work
I got
towards
like a 2-pack up here. You know, I see a couple of ribs up here, but you know when they get down here,
listen,
like, hey,
you know what's so crazy? My wife is she's a man. She go hard in the paint. You hear me? Go hard working out. But again, to bring reference to what your son is saying, man, we don't care. We really, you know, when you get with somebody and you really genuinely love them, man, you don't really be thinking about that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't. But again, like you said, and my wife she says she echoes the same thing. She was like, well, this is what I want to do.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, you're right. Do your thing, baby. Do your thing. Yeah. But when you think about it, it's like,
I think women are notorious for comparing themselves to other women. Okay. And we never really care about what is appealing to the man. We're always looking at what the other woman is doing.
Sure, I got you. Yeah.
And men are like, we don't even care about that.
Yeah, like, I don't really care.
Yeah, we don't even
really
care. But
you know what's so crazy though? When you do start losing the weight, it's like, damn, baby, you're looking good than a month.
Right.
That will come out your mouth.
It's just like my wife. My wife, you know, my wife, she's always been small.
Yeah.
And now she got this form like I'm like, oh, babe.
He said form.
Yeah, he said form.
You know, like,
hey, babe.
You know, because my wife, she works out. She
Yeah. We talked about that.
We go to the gym.
Yep.
You know, she does her thing. She go walking. My wife, she loves to walk. Man. She go the countryside, you know, and walk and
gets it in. Yeah, I got you.
And she, you know, she's been doing it, you know, and it's something that she likes to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, even though, you know, you say this and you say that, my wife like, that's what I like. This is what I, you know, this is what I want to do. Right. You know, I like to, you know. And, you know, every now and then she like, you know, because, you know, I got to look good for my man because I don't have
there.
I don't have to have these young girls, you know, looking at my man, you know.
You know what, man? That's so crazy, man. You know, and everybody is totally different when it comes to competition like that. Right. And to bring reference to what both of you have said, you know, sometimes it is, you know, well, shoot, I got to compete with this person to do this. But you know what? When I look at it from that standpoint, I think that's kind of like fun competitiveness.
It is.
If you don't let it get the best of you. Because I know some people can't handle that emotionally or
and
mentally.
But you know, with yourself.
It is. It is in a sense. In a sense. You're right, though.
You're just using that person as a measuring stick.
Exactly.
Where am I?
Where am I?
On this?
What do I need to do different? Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
Because we are reflections.
Yes.
We are.
Yes, we are.
So it's like, okay, it's okay to see something in somebody else that you want.
Yes.
You know, without coveting them to the point where you want to destroy them.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Listen, yes,
at least you uplifting, you know, your spirit and your self confidence. Yeah, you know, so.
Man, I tell you, man, I remember when me and my wife we went to the beach, right? So I don't have a 6-pack no more, right? I used to have one as a young man.
Right, when you was in the
I was in the military, right?
No more.
No more, right? And so I took off my shirt, right?
Right.
I didn't give a damn, right? Yeah. So I went into the water. I'm feeling good. I ain't thinking about a damn thing.
Right.
Until I saw this one dude walk past me, right? And we laughed. He laughed too.
Right.
And he was a young man.
Right.
And I got out the water and I looked at him. I said, "Well, damn, man, what happened?" Man, he started laughing. He said, "It's all good, OG. You'll get it back." I said, "No, the hell I won't. Thank you for making me feel good, though."
Oh, that was a good one.
But we had you have a moment when you're looking at I'm an older gentleman. He was maybe 25, 26.
Yeah,
so when I thought about when I was 25 and 26, and I said, "Well, damn."
Right,
I said, "Man, what happened, man?" He started laughing because it was almost like we met at the same time.
Right.
Well, damn, what happened, man?
Yeah, that was good.
That was good, though.
Yeah.
But it was a moment of, like, I ain't competing with that.
Right.
I'm not finna try to get back to that. Now, that's not something I desire.
Right.
Now, what I do desire is to just be in good health.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, if I can go walking, lift some weights just to keep my bones going and keep myself still strong in the event that I have to use my strength, then absolutely.
Right.
I want to be able to tussle with you if I have to.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to throw up some iron. Throw up some iron. Keep, my blood pressure is great.
Right.
But, I've lost some weight I've lost some weight because I was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy, I was swole up like a tick. I was swole like a tick, boy.
Cuz I know that, cuz.
I was swole like a tick, boy.
And that's what talking about. I know.
Yeah. So I've never really competed with anybody. And in the military, we it was competitive. But that was the only time that I remember really competing.
Motivation.
That it was motivation more.
I mean, you got to make it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? That's survival.
Oh, but I'm going to walk. Now, if you're trying to outwalk me, it's on.
Oh, yeah.
We going to be walking like hell, fast as hell. And I'm be like, bro, I'm finna get you on this last lap, though.
Right.
You know?
Say you on the walking tip.
What? Man, I'll walk you. What? You can't mess with me when it comes to walking now.
So when you think about that competition thing, and they've taken that away from children, where now all kids are winners, right?
Yeah.
And they don't want any losers. So you need some contrast in your life, something that you can have a backdrop that you can look at life. Mm-hmm. What is it like to be poor, right?
Yeah.
So that you can understand that you want to be rich, right?
I like that. I like
what is it like to be sick, so that you can understand the value of being healthy. And so those things need to.
I see where you're going with that. Yeah.
You know, so if all kids are winners, which they're not.
No.
Right?
No.
They're not.
Because that's not the reality.
That's not the reality of it at all. Right?
That's not the reality.
You're going to get out here and lose sometime. And you need to know how to lose.
And you need to know how it feels, too.
And not only that, because now if you telling all these kids that we're winners, then in their mind, they grew up like, I'm going to win, and then when they finally lose, they're
confused.
They're confused like, so...
Daddy lied to me.
I've never being a loser.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm always a winner. So how did I lose?
Right.
So, and it could be a bad thing, like it can be a bad thing, because sometimes when you lose, it kind of helps you, like, okay,
sure,
I know how to lose, and now I know how to better myself,
yeah,
so I could be a winner.
That part,
That
and
part. You got to come up with a plan when you want to better yourself.
Right, right.
Thank you.
And that's strategic thinking.
Yes, it is.
And a lot of kids are lacking that.
Yes,
right,
yes,
right.
yes.
You didn't do a good job on that. How are you going to do it better?
Right.
Yes,
That part.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I totally agree with that. The competitive spirit is I think it should, like you said, it should be in all of us, and we should challenge.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a challenge that you place in front of your kids so they do understand what it is to be in a competitive situation and to fight for something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Something that you believe in, So there's nothing wrong with that competitive spirit. You want to be a winner. You gotta fight in yourself. In yourself.
Right.
You gotta fight for it, man.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to literally fight for it. I was telling somebody the other day, man, my thought process has changed so much since I started doing this, because I felt like, I'm running this race against me, but I also feel like I have some great wingmen with me, men, women with me, that's saying, hey, we with you. Mm-hmm. We with you.
Right.
So in a sense, you guys are saying, hey, man, we with you, so don't quit.
Right.
Don't stop doing what you're doing. It's working.
Mm-hmm.
Just let it happen. Let the process. It's a process in everything. Nothing.
Right.
I always hear people, there's no such thing as an overnight success. Unless you in, a different world. Because we know a lot of people do experience overnight success, and then they may go through some other things too,
right.
because of that overnight success. So, but competing with yourself, I have a few different reasons people compete or should, or just some values here that can say why you should compete with yourself. Number one is you have a much healthier measure of your success. I am all about stealing my mom's wisdom, and one of the things she has always preached to us is to run your own race. Because hard truth, someone is always going to be better than you at something.
Yeah.
That's a fact. While you were out pursuing your career, someone else got the wedding and the kid you wanted while you were training for that marathon. Some way to look at that, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Again, you can get this information from bustle.com. These are just some different ways of reasons why people should compete with themselves, right? Okay. Right. You get a better sense of what you are capable of.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Another hard truth of adulthood is that there are some things that we just suck at. Like we said earlier, man, you suck. Or arguably worse, there are some things that we're very good at, but just plain not good enough to be successful at it. And again, I think that goes to when you have to say when it's time to shut it down.
Right.
Right.
Just being honest with yourself. You've tried everything that you could do. So at what point do you say, the hell with it, I'm going to shut this shit down. I ain't doing this shit no more, right?
Shut it down.
Shut it down, right? I love it, though, because guess what? When you compete with yourself, that's exactly what you get. You get a better sense of what you are capable of.
Probably started.
Be like, baby, this is not your talent.
Let me tell you something, boy. And you know
I think
what?
you need to try something.
Like that one time I was trying to sing.
Oh, damn, Femi.
Femi, stop. Are you serious?
And wife was like, nah, bro. That ain't it.
Was you seriously?
I was dead.
Oh, God, Femi. What the hell, Femi?
I could sing now.
Oh, Femi, don't do that.
Let me hear.
Femi will put you on the spot. Let me hear.
What you gonna sing? Go ahead.
I don't know, but hey, this not the time.
That's that pause. Oh, gosh, look, I love it.
This not the time and place.
Okay, then. Oh, boy.
Hey,
oh, my God.
I was trying to get lessons from Tanya.
Was it? Oh.
Were you for real? Were you for real? You kidding?
I was going to say, because Tanya will kick your ass out the studio.
Tanya
Man, you ain't serious.
Tanya be like, Femi, now you know.
Now you know. Oh, boy. The next one is you embrace more of the unknown. When you're constantly competing with everyone else, you're only competing in arenas that other people have set up for you.
Ooh,
sure,
good.
You might get to the point where you are winning in those arenas, but if you spend your whole life competing with other people, those are the only arenas you'll ever see.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. You gotta you gotta
expand your
horizon. You gotta expand your horizon. You gotta be able to do more than one thing. I believe that. I believe you should stretch yourself as much as you can.
Right. Just like
put your spin on it. Like you
put
said.
your spin on it.
This is what everybody else was doing.
Right.
And I've been competing with them for about a year.
I ain't doing it no more.
Now it's time for me to expand.
Right. I ain't doing that no more.
Yeah.
Just like when Ross, when you was doing the acting thing.
Oh yeah.
He was singing at the same time was acting.
Yep.
I got to see that sure. Part of Ross. I mean, I appreciate even when he had that look that I was like, whoa.
Was you mesmerizing him?
He was in his.
I was in my pocket. Element. Yeah, I was in it. I was loving every bit of it.
And and at the time you probably was.
I was enjoying it. It was
that's awesome.
Yeah, I was enjoying it at the time that I was doing it. And who's to say I won't ever do it again? No, it's not.
That's a hustle. That's a really hard job.
It's a grind.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a grind. Right. So I had to be realistic in my approach with that. Right. I had to say to myself, am I really willing to go through make the sacrifices that are necessary to make in order to achieve this goal?
Yeah, and I think I wasn't. Perry had called you, you'd have been.
Oh yeah,
you'd have been on the go.
I'd have been gone
for a long
time.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I didn't think I was really ready for those sacrifices at the moment. But I'm not saying that I won't ever touch the stage again. Who's to say that I won't? Who's to say that I won't get a phone call from somebody? Who's to say I won't do some filming again or some acting in a theatrical arena again?
You said you wasn't ready for that?
No. What I'm saying is, I don't think.
I understand what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying is, when I say I wasn't ready for it,
the sacrifice.
I wasn't ready to make those sacrifices.
Okay, gotcha.
That were necessary in order for me to be great at that.
Okay, gotcha.
There's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes when you are achieving to be this great thespian. Yeah, and I had to learn that. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time away from the family. Now I'm married to a very mature woman who travels herself in entertainment. So that wasn't the issue. That was never the issue.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. We have that. That's not a problem.
Right.
But for me, it was, darn, I'm gone all the time. Right. For me, it was, I got to set aside to do this. And I was already engulfed with this. And this takes up a great deal of my time because I'm always researching, I'm always learning. And then not only that, the other side, I'm managing two things and trying to be good at both of those things. And yeah, I am. I can do it. But I know at some point, one of these you got to let go in order to achieve it. Right. But it doesn't take away from the fact of it being lucrative because you can always rent the space out. There's other things that you can do. You can always produce a show
right.
and put a show together and put people in place.
Right.
And it can be their show under your brand. It can be their show but it can be up under your brand and everybody's still eating at the same table. So there's a lot of ways that you find out, do you want to be in the background or do you want to be in the front? The people who live a very, very good life, a lot of them are in the background. That's where the residuals and writers
of songs,
producers.
You see people performing the song, but those writers are collecting.
Oh man! And don't get me wrong, we see artists now making a ton of money.
Those songwriters,
yeah, man, they make a ton of money. And not that it's all about the money, because some of those guys have been broke. Really have been homeless to achieve this goal of acting. They've come to sets and been told 50 million times, but because they believed in what they were doing, what did they do? They kept going, right? They kept going. So, all right, the next one is you get to define your own success, kind of like what we hinted around, or what we were kind of talking about.
Right.
You get to define your own success. We know what success looks like for millennials. Success is doing what we watched our parents do: graduate from college, get the right job, meet the right person, buy a house, start a family. For some of us, not all of us, I'll say that. But that isn't to say that people who do not do these days, that people who do that these days aren't successful. All right. So, but sure they are. Because I know some people who didn't graduate from college or high school that are killing it.
Yeah.
You know, they're millionaires. They've created.
Because they didn't accumulate a whole lot of student loan debt.
Yeah. That's the other part, right? Yeah. So the next one is you become that much more free of people's judgment. When you compete with yourself, you are essentially dismissing other people's measures for your success. You might find yourself pursuing something that would seem crazy or like a waste of time to someone else, but it doesn't matter anymore. You aren't subject to what they think of you. You don't have to answer them. You only have to do what? Answer yourself. Period, right? You ain't got to answer nobody. Listen, you will never rest on your laurels. The most significant and realist danger of only competing with other people, beating them. It would be so tempting to stop your emotions once you have achieved something. Satisfied because it's better than what everyone else is doing. But that satisfaction is fleeting. The only thing that will ever truly satisfy a competitive person is the lifelong pursuit to improve and challenge yourself in new ways. And when you're looking inward for that inspiration, guess what? You always will. So those are reasons why you should compete with yourself. And you can check that out at bustle.com.
That's a good one.
Competing with yourself.
What about competing with your spouse?
Ooh. Boom, boom, boom.
I see a lot of spouses competing with each other.
I don't understand that.
I don't either.
It's weird.
I don't understand that. You are 18.
Exactly.
There's no reason to compete.
Yeah. There's no I in
best
team.
Friends. To a degree, it can be healthy, but I've seen that thing go left.
Oh yeah.
Best
friends, cousins, brothers. You know, your spouse, your siblings. You know, there's a lot of competition amongst each other.
Yeah.
And I don't know why sometimes that is, but for me, I tell my siblings, look, we in to win this together. Because if I make it, you've made it. If I made it, we all made it.
Absolutely.
So I don't see why.
Absolutely.
you know, you have to, I've seen a lot of friends that have
So you have to be in a certain mindset. First of all, you got to be a little stable, because if you're in a bad place and you get in competition with those close to you, it can destroy a relationship.
It can.
So you got to know and be conscious where you are. Mm-hmm. And so if you're in a bad place and you say, you know what, I'm really not feeling good about myself. This is not a good time for me to be trying to compete with my best friend, with my sibling.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
And
it can sing you into something.
Yeah. And also it's like I've seen it. It all depends on your upbringing as well, because I've seen a person where they're probably the only child, the only child, their mom, their dad, and he or she was just the only child and never had no siblings or whatnot. And then you have these ones that they have siblings. So it all depends, because a person that doesn't have a sibling or whatnot, they're not used to sharing with,
unless they have a lot of cousins,
right? Unless they have a lot of cousins or whatnot.
A couple of them that are only children have a lot of cousins, and boy,
right,
they've gotten exercised a lot.
Right. So it all depends on the situation.
That's right.
Because you could have somebody that was just the only child and they've never been in situations where they share or they they have this, that, and they just, it's not that they're selfish, that's just how he or she was raised.
Or they could be the baby like I am. One of my sayings was, when I first started kind of getting out here in the world, was, it's not fair. Right? It's not fair, because I was the baby, like the baby, and my sisters were always,
push everything on you.
Well, not really. They were kind of so much older than I was. They were like, second mothers. I first started kind of getting out. And so when you think about it, it's like, okay, I didn't really start competing until I started learning how to play tennis.
Oh, you played tennis?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
Serena.
my mother thought, and my parents.
Come on now.
Come on. He stuck that in, didn't he, Cat?
That was good. He said, Serena. So, but I learned, that was where I learned true competition, because I wasn't competing with my sisters because they were so much older than I was. And, it was almost like I was in a class by myself. And so that's why I think sports is so good for children.
Oh yeah.
Get them going, because whatever it is, it's going to teach them some character.
Man,
Right.
That's why I'm against making everybody winners.
Right.
Because I'm not going to lie. When I first started playing tennis, I was like, okay, y'all cutting up on this training.
Yeah.
It was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. And I was like, this is way too much.
Yeah.
And now I see the value
in that.
That's so important.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't about tennis.
No, not at all.
It was about building character. It was about building routine. It was about building self-confidence.
Yes.
Fundamentals.
All of that. Learning how to concentrate, learning how to be responsible for your own outcomes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Because tennis is one-on-one.
Yeah.
It's just you and that person. It's not a team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you lose, you lost.
Yes, sir. It's
you can't put it on nobody else.
Right.
It's on you.
Yeah.
It's on you, champ.
Right.
Yeah.
And while we speaking of tennis, and you saw that through the course of Serena's career, where sometimes some days you could just tell by the way she's playing sometimes, like, whoo,
Yeah.
Like, is she's going to have a good day or is she going to have a bad day?
Yes, buddy.
Because that, I mean, the
and
way they
sports
serve.
make you prioritize your life. Yes. If you know you got a big game the next day, it's like everybody else is hanging out. You know you've got to go to bed early.
Right.
Yeah. You know you've got to eat right. You know
Absolutely.
what you got to you're not worried about. Again, talking about competing with yourself.
Right.
Yes.
Competing with yourself is being responsible for your own outcome.
Right.
I mean, I think that is just the best lesson that you can make.
Right.
Because you can't blame anybody else if you get out there because you ate ice cream the night before and you get a Charlie horse.
Right. or you could, or you not out there, you know, not like,
I love it.
You know, instead of you practicing, you in there, you in the club, you know, shaking your tail instead of you out there practicing and trying to get that win for tomorrow.
That's right.
And then when you lose, then you be looking at everybody like it's their fault.
Yeah.
I know. It was your fault.
Yeah.
You was all in the club shaking your tail.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
What you think, Ross?
Competing with your spouse?
Right.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well,
because the reality is you might lose.
Right.
You know, if you trying to compete with your spouse, just depend on what you. I don't know. That's just weird even talking about that. That's just weird talking about that because you shouldn't be doing that. Like,
it is.
Like, who cares who's doing better than the next one? It's coming in the same
household, right?
That's what I'm
We all are eating.
Right.
So
but
who
it happens
cares?
a lot.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like I would never stop my wife from doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
First of all, I couldn't. But I would never do that. First of all, she has so much life when she does what she does.
Yeah.
Right.
It's who she is.
Right.
And she enjoys doing it.
Right. Right.
And then when she bring the money home, it's like, you want to go to eat? Yeah, yes, I do want to go out to eat.
Right.
You treating? What? Yes, absolutely. Come on, man.
Right,
I mean, that's a beautiful thing. You know, you have a lot of spouses. A lot of the women nowadays are the breadwinners in the house. It doesn't diminish the value of us as husbands just because your spouse make more money than you. Congratulations, really.
Right.
Baby, go make that damn money.
Yeah.
What?
Right. But see,
So, but I know sometimes it can be, it can weigh heavy on men because
depending on where you are.
Depending on where you are.
Right,
And sometimes it can weigh heavy on men and say, well, dog, you know, I would love to be doing this right here for my spouse. I can't even do this for her. But I promise you, if you take it away from that and just think about your vows, for better or for worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that should go across the board, even if you're cohabitating.
Right.
You know, even if you're not in a marriage, you know, if you have a partner that's still bringing something to the table, then that's what they have to bring to the table. And if you're accepting them for who they are and you're loving them for who they are, then you're accepting what they can bring to the table at the time in hopes that they will continue to grow, though, not stay there. But even if they do, you can say, oh, that nigga ain't gonna do nothing.
And sometimes if you stay in the pocket and you're consistent.
Well, I'm just saying, some people, you know,
Yeah.
they ain't gonna try nothing else. Hell.
But sometimes if you stay in the pocket and you just consistent and she knows she can count on you for that mortgage or whatever every month.
Every month.
She's good.
She's good. Right. Oh, baby, I got everything else.
She ain't got to think about it.
She don't think twice about it.
It's
I agree.
It's what you do with it.
It's what you do with it.
You know?
Right?
Yeah.
It's what you do with it. You know, it ain't about competing. It's about adding to. Just bring something to the table.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and then don't worry about, you know, what you can't do, and try not to compete with your spouse. Compete with yourself at that point.
Right.
If it's something that you want to do for your spouse, then guess what you need to do?
Right.
You need to expand.
Right.
Exactly.
You need to put your first foot forward and say, hey, okay, I'm not doing this, but there's a way I can make this right here. Let me go out here and get this and bring
but don't
this.
Try to sit her down.
Yeah, but don't try to sit her down. No, don't do that. She the breadwinner.
Right.
Let her keep doing what she's doing, and you just do your part.
Right.
In hopes that you will continue to grow and get to a place where, hey, you never know, you might end up being the breadwinner.
Yeah.
And you might be able to say, baby, I got it. Girl, I got this good job. I've been working on this little BS job for years and finally got promoted. Yeah. You know, so we hear stories like that happening. And it can happen. You know, you just have to be consistent and just keep fighting and keep pushing. But competing with your spouse, you might end up doing a lot of darn arguing and fighting.
Definitely.
Woo. Oh, yeah. I don't want to do that.
And passive aggressiveness, going out and cheating because you feel like you losing. You know?
Heavy.
Yeah. I'm going to get my lick back this way.
Yeah. You think you're doing something.
Beat you this way.
I'm going to go do this.
Because it has ruined a lot of marriages and relationships.
Yeah, it has.
Too. Even if you're not even married, even if it's just a boyfriend and
girlfriend
kind of situation.
And you know, now we live in a very non-traditional world today. So it's across the board with all types of relationships. Right. You know, we talk about that all the time. You know, relationships now can't be just limited to male and female. That's right. You know, whether you agree or disagree with it, we have to speak, you know, in general because, you know, we have new families now. Yeah. You have families now that consist of 2 women and 2 men and male and female. You know, that's not even the argument. The argument is just don't compete with your spouse.
Just don't compete. You know, just
not with your significant other, man. Just do what you can do.
Compete with yourself. You know, compete with yourself, make yourself better.
Yep.
And also just make your significant other or whoever you're in relationship with, make them better. Yeah. Because once they see how you moving or once they see how you carrying yourself, they'll also like,
absolutely.
Oh, look at my husband, or look at my boyfriend. Look at the things that he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, I should be able to be like that.
Here's the thing, man. If you got a lot of time on your hand, you can always go back to school.
Yeah.
Right.
They ain't closing those schools.
Right.
That's true.
You can always, you know, get your education.
That's true.
You know, get your education, work on getting a degree so that you can expand if you feel like that's what you need to do. Right. Create a business, you know, create something that won't take away from the household, something that won't hurt the household right now at the time. But if you can create something that won't take away from the household, that'll add to the household.
Right.
So that you feel the value that you feel like you don't have, then, you know, by all means do that.
Right.
Yeah. So competing with my spouse, never that. Nah. I don't understand spouses being jealous of each other. Oh. And I know that happens.
It does.
You know, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but stay away from that, man.
All right.
No need for that. She's yours, he's yours, whatever.
That'll be toxic.
Oh, man, it'd be terrible, man. So, So, listen, I hope you guys have heard something on today that can help you become better. You know, we pride ourselves on giving our perspective, our opinions, you know, and we all have them.
Right.
You know, whether you agree or disagree with the Ross Cloud podcast and this wonderful team of individuals that I have to give their thoughts and their perspectives about things. You know, we just want to make this world a better place, and hopefully we can say something that can make you become better. Listen, I am Carl Ross Sr.
And I am Candi T. Jeter.
And I am Femi Osinowo.
And we are the Ross Cloud Podcast. Make it a great day and keep being great. Peace.